Welcome everyone. Here we are with a special warrior guide right after the patch. I was getting a little concerned of the damage, and when the patch arrived, I quickly ran into the rift with level 30 above me, level 103 with expedition with 5 mods, and I tried it out with a build. We can still hit 200k very easy, 400k normally, and 600 and 800k just happens when we debuff enemies. And our stats are not bad. Not that we sacrifice a lot for offense. We have 72k HP, and our block rate with a two-handed weapon at the moment is at 47%. I'll quickly get it to 100 in about 3 or 4 levels, because I actually built too much damage. Block efficiency is not that high though, only 18%, but it's okay. Pretty high resistance, I have 52 for everything, and on top of that, I don't have enough life leech. What I'll do is I'll build a little more life leech, only 2% from rend. I just need about 4 to 5%, that will be enough. And what happened is I can just remove 1 or 2 of the critical hit rates, because I'm sitting at 56% critical hit. Pretty high, too high actually. Oh, there you go. They stuck it. Oh, it didn't even cost me that much. Let's see. This is the moment of truth, guys. Hey, you see this? You see these guys? 500k? 5? Is that 500? Is it 500? Was it 500 there? But I think I can still hit a million. And I am still hitting a million. This is 4.8 million, by the way. Oh, I hit, did you see it? I hit 800k there. 800k with this. What? Always press the wrong button. No, I can't. Oh, the drive. Almost dead. Made it. Beautiful. Okay. This is one? This is not one. This is one. 3.4 million. It's gone? What a barbarian. So, getting right into it, you might have seen yesterday's guide on why do I hit hard. So the biggest factor here is 2 things. One is the increased damage per element. I heard this was slightly changed because of how much hard it was hitting, but although it's changed, I also changed my whole talent tree accordingly. So it's not that bad. We can definitely make this work. After that, this one basically doubles the damage of Bleeding Edge and sometimes triples the damage of Bleeding Edge. Right now we quit about 200k for Bleeding Edge, and this one would give us anywhere from 200k to 800k. I can make it to a million if I'm lucky. I just need 1 more perk or 2 more perks. Why do I say I'm lucky? Because I will be applying stat shock, because just happen I have a bit of lightning damage, so I'll be applying shock and bleeding. Here I have the status and bleeding, and here I have a stun. So what I'm looking at is 1 set of stuns, bleeding. Here I guarantee the static and 2 set of bleeding and random. And here I need to get lucky with the shock and bleeding. Once all of those applies, I can also apply weakness onto enemies, and 3 stack of that. And that alone should take me close to 500k damage. So, what's special about the build? Firstly, you pretty much do the same, you level forward. And what I did was, I wasn't sure how good the God Amongst Men was. It definitely gave me more damage, but the downside is, at the moment with my current gears, I do not have enough to proc the second element, because I perked into 2 elements now. I'm basically an element 2-handed barbarian warrior. So let's see the biggest factors here. Normally you'll pick the critical chance score, which we already have. Normally you'll pick the increase of reach damage over 750, which we do have. And normally you go for a bit more rage, so here I'm sitting on 400 rage here. I'm sitting on 150 rage here. Now, the biggest factor here is I went for the block. This allows me to block when enemies hit me with anything, and 2-handed can block. So this is a block efficiency 20%, but it was lowered I think. So here with this opens up blocking, and after one block I'll apply weakness debuff to enemies. I believe there's a small text error here with weakness. So what we see here is we can see that weakness says your ability to use weakness reduce damage dealt by the target. Weakness can stack up to a maximum number of element stack. What it doesn't say is weakness also lowers enemy resistance. So the more weakness you stack, the more damage the enemy takes. It's similar to curse, but the curse just increases the damage taken. weakness reduces the resistance, usually just physical and rend for us. So weakness is a great buff. Not only itself increase enemy damage taken, it also allows our element with the Bleeding Fury to do more damage over here. Gives me a little excited and coughed a little bit. Let's go further. So back to the talent tree. Now that we can block, we apply weakness AoE at 7 meters or 7 meter radius. What we're gonna do is we'll perk into a few of the damage ones. Here with the high reach, I have more damage. And although 2% is not that much, I'm sitting on 30% more damage because I have about 1550 rage. And this alone is the crucial source of damage and also the ability to apply more debuff. So the factor here is I can apply another set of element with every bit of my skill, and I have a chance to apply twice of that. So 50 chance of applying when I apply debuff with weakness. This allows me to apply 6 debuff with weakness. And basically the weakness is my first multiplier. Second multiplier will be the damage over here, which give us another 100% of damage with the rage over 750. Third multiplier is over here with the which time cannot heal. This increases the enemy damage taken by 120% basically. So after 1.5 seconds, a massive crit comes up. If I hit for 800, they will crit for about 1 minute. If I hit for 600, it crit close to 80k. So, 800k. So this is why you see some big numbers on the boss really quickly, because this basically follow up with a massive damage. Of course, you want this perk, which gives you survivability. At higher levels, over level 100, monsters hit very hard, and they're very durable, so you want to make sure you can lifesteal everything back. I'm definitely keeping this perk. This is the fact that I have over 52% resistance, and without those two, and without my heavy armors over here, I will not have enough resistance. Of course, I always like to show how good my resistance is, so yeah, this is the factor. Take those two off, I'm sitting at 400. Just with those two pieces, I hit up to 3000. We do have a guide explaining the choice of items and explaining the choice of stats. Nothing has changed. We basically went for rend damage. This is the final part of the puzzle. Why do you go for rend damage is, if you look closely, the bleeding edge is majority rend damage. If you go for anything that's not rend damage, it's diminishing or it's not as big of a return. If you stack rend damage, you will almost go 100% into the total damage. Everything else will be a little lower, even physical and also even the toxic, I believe. And other elements will have like about 10 or 30% damage into the total damage. So what you want to do is you want to be on the lookout, and I'll be keeping a few of those. You want to be on the lookout for rend damage weapons, and the two-handed is the best one. Here we have the 73 to 121. Here we have 68 to 109. After trying both out, this one was actually the best. So after finding its best, we basically suck it into the 3 red gems for more rend damage. With this much rend damage, it's super good. So if I take it off, if you look at my bleeding edge, I'll just put on anything else. So let's try those two. So this is the one-handed. Bleeding edge currently does 5700, and this gets multiplied. Now this is a one-hand with 63 to 68 rend damage. This is a two-hand with 73 and 120. This is already 10,000. So a two-hand with rend damage is already massive. Lastly, if you socket in for just 3 more rend damage sockets, and all of a sudden you do 16k. And this 16k is how I got to 200k with other multipliers, because I have the weapon damage critical chance, I have the double damage with my status, and also double damage over here. So yeah, super excited to show you guys, and I will show you guys the skill rotation as well. This by far is the best skill rotation, and you don't need the warpath. Warpath is just my little taxi. I just drive and just keep moving, and I just keep doing that. Yeah, warpath is just for that. So not really need the warpath, and it's just pretty fun to use and good traveling around because I move so fast, and especially with the movement speed gain, really good. So if you look at my block rate after I call, I'm actually looking at a higher block rate, 62%, because my calls also have increased block rate. With the Winds of Asher, I like to have my stamina as the usage, so I have 4 stamina to use when I jump, and I'll be going for a buff hitting our enemies. I'll be going for increased damage after landing. Regeneration is not bad because I can jump 4 times, and lastly, I want to stun enemies. This provides another element. Each element increases our damage. Followed by that, the shout over here should give us block chance 15% amplified by this increased effectiveness, which increases damage even more, the block chance. Also, this gives us increased duration, increased critical hit chance, and also global leech. This is one of the reasons I can survive against bosses. I'm sitting on 2% leech, this gives me 7 more percent. And lastly, movement speed, just good farming overall. I've been level up my tracker switch, preparing for the change, and now the tracker switch is level 62, which doesn't have to be. It just have to be, well, it just have to be not that much actually. It just have to be here maybe. So maybe about level 30. It doesn't need to do damage. So what's with tracker switch is that you want to lower cooldown so you can spam it. I'm shooting at 1.8 seconds with tracker switch. Biggest factor is 100% status debuff. I have tried it multiple times. You can perk into this one. So what this one does is it spreads it out. Notice this one far one, this is a really long one, and everything else spreads out. It drags enemies to me, but the only ones that hits by the first primary line of tracker switch will be debuffed. So the drag is not bad, but it costs 3 points, so I don't feel it's necessary. So I'm just using the one without the AoE drag. And this also gives me more chance of doing element damage and also a weapon damage. Why do you want to do weapon damage? Is you can't hook bosses. You have to do damage to apply the debuff to the boss. And this have a chance to apply a bunch of debuff, because I have 50% to apply, double the debuff. And followed by that, lower cooldown, just so we can spam this. Hey there, Mac. Yes, I tried to play with rally gun actually. If you saw our lightning build with the lightning mage, I did try to play with that. Definitely check it out, I just posted. So with Juggernaut, I'm actually thinking of fixing Juggernaut a little bit here. So what I'm gonna do is shield absorption. I don't need to empty my full shield, I feel, because my full shield is not much. 4,000 is definitely not worth it. So I want to increase damage absorbed. I also want to lower rage is not that much as well. So what's happening is I'm turning this basically into a defensive mechanics. I'm no longer using Juggernaut to burst about 2 million damage anymore, because now I'm sitting at 800k burst with 1 critical. And that's not worth it, because we easily get there with 1 or 2 bleeding edge. So everything's defensive, reduce damage received, gain rage, and also maximum absorption with block, because we hit up to 60% block for now. Okay, what did I do? What did I do? I think when you press the hotkey here, it automatically replaces the skill. So this one is just so before I jump into the boss, I can cast it and I don't get burst down. And usually I don't die that fast. Warpath is simply here just for a mobility movement, nothing too special, just with the hold down to it and you can actually start casting a little longer as long as you don't hit a monster or anything onto the wall. Finally, Bleeding Edge. This is interesting. We want weapon damage. We want weapon damage, we want critical chance, we also want the critical hit damage. Those 4 are usually normal, those 2 are the best ones. This basically triples our damage from 0.45 into 1.45. And lastly, this is the biggest factor. This multiplies damage very much so, and it's very powerful. The combination that we fight monsters with. Before we get in, we should be shouting. That gives us attack speed, block chance, critical chance, life leech, and movement speed. That's really good. I'm moving really fast. So before I do that, I go for that. If it's a normal monster mob, I just swipe and they die. Now if it's elite or something that's a little stronger, what I do is I jump onto them and I stun them. After stunning, I already do pretty much double damage onto them with Bleeding Edge. Now if they are 500,000 or 1 million monster mob, I can jump onto them, I can hook them, all of a sudden they take increased 120% damage from the status after 1.5 seconds, and I just swipe them. If it's a boss, what I do is I get the shield down, I call, I jump, I hook them once, doesn't matter if they get dragon or not, you get a little debuff on their body and you just finish them off. What I recommend is getting at least 1 or 2 rage potion, so you can spam. Each time you spam, because you're using a 2-hand weapon, you press your potion once, you spam twice, press potion once, you can rinse and repeat. This keeps your rage really high, and until you get really low on rage, you should be fine. And I'm thinking of going for 2 potions now with rage. And you can't hook the boss. The boss can't be hooked, but you can debuff if you have damage on the hook. Here the hook is, what, 1700 damage, but the key is getting multiple of debuff here. And there you go guys, this is the secret of the warrior. And if you want to see my items, I'll quickly hover each of them. The weapon does need a lot of rune damage, and it needs to be 3-socketed. At the start of my replay stream, I showed you how I rolled for the weapon. Really lucky, I got 3 sockets after a few rolls, but it's worth the investment. For the rings, my secret of health, which is explained in another guide, I'm actually going for HP. This is why I have lightning damage actually. This ring gave me lightning damage. I need that element for the chance of shock, which gives me more damage. So if you look at my HP, currently 72k, I take the ring off, 63. One ring gives me 10,000. This ring gives me another 10,000. This amulet gives me another 10,000. So without those 3, I won't be that tanky. This is a very cheap and effective way to get more damage, because you can exchange other things for damage and use the ring for HP. I'm going for a few of the block gems, 8% block, 9%, and also 8 and 8%. This procs me to 62%. Later I can exchange more HP into block gems if I want, but I think I'm okay now. So, you need heavy armors and heavy helmet for the resistance. Best to have high resistance, and also this one has such a good stats I didn't want to let it go. So also cooldown. For the shoulders, I recommend going for rage reduction together with lots of roll damage. So here we have ferocity as the roll damage, and also critical chance. Here we had higher rage reduction, toughness, and also damage. Also a bit of toughness. For the gloves, nothing too special. They usually come with attack speed. Take it if you want. Those are not bad because you do cast a little faster, which enables you to do more lifesteal. So really good roll stats, and you can see that, another rage reduction. Followed by that, the belt. This belt does give us a lot of things, but you can see that the biggest factor is the additional HP. The HP gave us is about 7,000 more HP. Of course, there's other good stats as well. The pens is really nice, not because of the dodge, but because of the cooldown reduction, toughness, and critical chance. Lastly, the boots. I've tried a really good boots. I'll show you guys. I still have it right there. It's over here. Funny enough, this stats is actually really good for the boots. If you look at it, it says, it's got 1.7k HP. But how good can it be? I'll put it on. I'm sitting on about 7,000 more HP because of the boots. If I'm short on HP, I'll take this one. And this also boosts my normal damage by a lot. Notice that actually not that bad that much. So the 7,000 HP is what you want, but if you have enough HP, I took it for the movement speed. Makes me move faster and travel faster. And here we go guys. That's all the summary for this build. And you've seen the videos and you see the replays now. It's really good, and don't lose hope on the warriors yet. Yes, they did change the node, but we can adjust for it. What I can do is I can kind of path myself for like a level 75, level 80 or level 90 talent tree for you guys onto YouTube as well, if you guys are interested. And I can also use the offline account to perfect this build into something that's even stronger. Let me know what you think, my friend. Can you stream shot the skill tree again? Yep, here's the skill tree, my friend. So notice this is the anchor one. You go for the Salvation anchor here. So you know where this stands. And the next one is basically, you can look at this. This is the feast of the cross. So we'll go down for the red one. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the update. And I know there's a bit of changes, but we're definitely prepared for it. And please subscribe onto YouTube and leave a like if you like this video and more videos to come. Please also follow me on Twitch, and if you have your Twitch Prime, definitely consider spending here and support us with, more Wolcen and more streaming. Thank you guys.